Hari Om. Can you hear me? ॐ सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Hari Om. Feels like it has been forever that we have had this class. Good to be back though. Hope the link has been sent across to everyone. I think moving forward, we have being connected with all kinds of gadgets. All the questions that I ask, I get answers as text messages, which I have to check in between. So moving forward, next academic year, starting the Balavihar, we have added one more session on Sundays. So the present structure will change, wherein we'll have 2 to 3:30 will be the third session. 3:30 to 4:30 will be the common timing, wherein we'll have teacher satsang, we'll have music class, dance class, language classes, chanting classes, all the classes. The mela will be there. And then after that, 4:30 to 6 will be the new session added in. It will be called S5. And then 6 to 7 I'll have a break, start the class, and hopefully we'll make use of that 1 hour in between. I have a plan, a scheme. I just briefly mentioned it to Shivam. Okay, that is about the timing. We'll cross the bridge when we get there, but as of now, we'll continue with. It is on page number 98, mantra number 14. Have you taken out the page? The value of this knowledge, the value of good teacher, the value of having a good student, all of them have been praised enough. And Nachiketa, who is serious on his business, he says, enough of this mutual admiration club, the MAC club. Like you praise me, I praise you, and we have been going around and round in this. Can we get back to the point? And look at the focal point of this kid. That he does not lose sight of that which he is intent on gaining. Whether he be praised, whether he be offered various gifts, he does not lose sight of it. So he brings that question back in this mantra and refines it and asks it in a very beautiful manner. So mature is the question. sometimes when the questioner asks the question, you tend to understand whether they even have a clarity about what they don't know. Sometimes we keep asking, and what I mean is, what I want to tell is, so you can understand that that person probably is still trying to figure out to crystallize the question that they have. They've not had good clarity on the question itself. But this young kid, the straightforwardness with which he asks this question shows the amount of research, the amount of study that he has done to come to this conclusion and ask this as a question. It shows the maturity of the student. So he says in this 14th mantra, repeat after me. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat, anyatra asmat, krita kritat, anyatra bhutacha, bhavyacha, yat tat pashyasi, tat vada. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat, anyatra asmat krita kritat, anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha, yat tat pashyasi, tat vada. Nachiketas has a very good position in life right now. Not as in status, but is in that intersection to have a dialogue with Yamadharma Raja himself. Lord Yama stands always on that threshold that he can see both sides of this world as well as the world after here. Many of us have been told that there is something on the other side. But Yama's job is, he is the traffic controller of the creation. He controls the traffic between this world and the other world. So his question is so direct. He says, O Lord Yama, functioning in this creation, we have been often advised to stay away from adharma and follow dharma. We have been advised about following the path of virtue and not the vice. We have been also told about the right and the wrong, and to choose the right one. But I know that this dharma and adharma, the talk of dharma and adharma, is only to a certain extent. There is something which is beyond dharma and adharma. There is something which is beyond the polarity. Goodness and badness is just incidental. It depends on where you are viewing it from. What is good at this position may be bad in a different position. What is bad now can be good later. Supposing we take an example, there's somebody who is bitten by a snake. Snake poison is not good. The antidote that is given, do you know what it is made of? Pharmacist. It is made out of snake venom. To break the impact of the venom, which is bad, we take the venom and use it back to remove the impact of that venom. So is it good or bad? Says it depends. Classic answer that everybody gives in Vedanta class. It depends. Whenever the answer is it depends, it means there is no certainty of it as absolute good or absolute bad. Even dharma and adharma. Not understanding this, we get caught up in trying to evaluate and ascertain whether Bhagavan Krishna was dharmic or adharmic. How could he force do certain things which we know for very sure that was adharmic? Then we use a technical word, and which many of you have picked up very efficiently. Apad dharma. That you start using it for everything and anything. Why were you late for the class? Swamiji, apad dharma. Why did you not submit the notes? Swamiji, apad dharma. Remember, there was a phase wherein for everything, the reason given was apad dharma. We almost felt, me and Ramakrishna Anandji, we used to feel, we should give them one top spin and say, apad dharma. So beyond this dharma and adharma, right and wrong, there is something which is sublime. Beyond this good and bad, there is something called divine. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat. Follow dharma, you will get punya. Follow adharma, you will get papa. Keep acquiring this punya so that you can enjoy it. And this papa has to be reduced. The effort of human life is not to acquire a lot of punya and enjoy it. To be good is not sufficient enough in the path of spirituality. What is required is to transcend even that goodness, to abide in one's own true nature, which is neither good nor bad, it is divine. And his question is, Yat tat pashyasi. Do you have that experience? Can you share that experience? Can you show me the path? We have gone a lot of roundabouts here and there, but this question is straightforward. Do you have an experience? Do you see it? Can you guide me to that path? He is not asking this as a doubt in his teacher. I am sure that you can see it. Can you show me that path as well? See, many teachers who have realized have no inclination, or they have not gone through the process themselves. They may not know how to communicate it. Along with the experience, you should also have the ability to communicate. I says, I know that you have that experience. Please show me that path. Now to this earnest question asked, what is Yama's answer? Now this is the instruction of Yama into the spiritual path. This is the first step, foundation. And what is the foundation? What is the message given in the 15th mantra? Repeat after me. Sarve Vedaha Yat Padamamananti Tapamsi Sarvani Chayadvadanti Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Bravimi Om Ityetat. Beautiful. Sarve Vedaha Yat Padam Amananti. Now this word Padam is a very deep word. Like the word Dharma has 14 shades of meanings, the word Padam has got about 22 shades of meanings. And in this particular mantra, all 22 shades can be applied. We will not complicate our understanding as of now with all 22 shades. We'll just focus on what is required here. Sarve Vedaha Yat Padam Amananti. All the Vedas indicate this, as the sole purpose of human life? We keep asking, we keep questioning, right? We have a lot of aspirations and we keep getting confused. What is the purpose of our life? And we even conduct what is called Swadharma workshops. You had conducted it with the junior chicks. See, at that level, what we have to show them is to move from, protect them from not getting into the tamasic pattern, understand the rajasic, evolve in that rajasic, and then get to the sattvic. Then we talk of that which is beyond sattva. Once you understand the sequence, there is no confusion, there is nothing cancelling each other. At that point, you give this message saying, all your passions and all your likes, dislikes and things, they have to be transcended anyway. Dump them once and for all. Because what you have to focus on is something beyond all these things. They would not get it. But what is the true purpose of human birth? The true purpose of human birth, yat padam amananti, very highly praised, amananti, praised by the Vedas, is this very purpose of human life. Whatever you are asking, O Nachiketa, that is verily the one which is praised by the Vedas as the purpose of human life. Padam, the very purpose of human life. You can say that is the very goal of every human being. Now, whether they are Hindu, whether not Hindu, as long as they are a human being, this is the core of our existence. This is what we are all seeking. Tapamsi sarvani cha yadvadanti. All the different penances that have been prescribed are to reach to this very pada, this very goal, this very purpose by all the Vedas. There is physical level tapas, there is tapas at the level of speech, there is a tapas at the level of mind or thoughts, there is a tapas at the level of conviction, there is a tapas at the level of the physical attributes and functioning with the world outside. All these various tapas. There are people who do tapas of not sleeping on a bed. There are people who do tapas of taking cold water shower. Even in summer, what kind of waters do you take shower in? Asking you a question, Baba. Warm, lukewarm to hot water, right? Cold water. And there are some houses that have had this experience that while I am taking shower, if anybody uses any other faucet in the house, especially the flush, and suddenly there is a gush of extreme heat to extreme cold. Have you ever experienced that? It kind of burns you and suddenly shocks you with cold water. So there are people who take cold water bath. The last time when I had gone to Kailash, there were many people who had done the tapas of almost a year, because they had to take a dip in Mansarovar, which is very, very cold. To get used to that, they had taken cold water showers all through the year. That is tapas. There are those who do the tapas of, not fasting, not eating food on some specific days. Monday for Shiva, Tuesday for Hanumanji, Wednesday for Ayyappa, Thursday for Guru, Friday for Devi, Saturday for Lord Venkateshwara, Sunday for Sunday for Surya Deva. Now, each day they keep fasting for one reason or the other. Oh, today is Ekadashi, today is Dwadashi. I know the next day will be Trayodashi, the third day. Or something or other, they keep fasting, not eating. And then there are those who do the tapas of eating, but eating food, uh, like, there are those who do the bhiksha bowl kind of a thing, wherein every taste is mixed into that bowl. That which is sweet, that which is hot, that which is cold, that which is spicy, that which is liquidy, that which is solid, that which is crunchy, that which is soft. Everything is mixed and you just gulp it down. Tapas. Then there are those who do the tapas of walking barefoot. You must have seen in India, right? Especially in South, there is this Ayyappa, the black dress that they wear, and they don't wear chappal, they just not wearing footwear. Not shaving is not tapasya for them, it is tapasya for the rest of them to bear them. So don't even go there. The physical level tapas. Then there is the tapas at a speech level. And one of the greatest tapas is to speak truth. And to speak the truth in such a way that it does not hurt anyone. Many people say, oh, whatever comes in my heart, I just tell it out openly. I don't carry things in my heart. You may want to spit out everything that comes into your heart, but please put a filter. And they can be very rude. They can carry very caustic opinions. In the name of being truthfulness and straightforward, you don't have the authority in hurting somebody else. Speak truthfully, but speak that truth in such a way that it does not hurt anyone. Learn that art. That is a speech level tapas. Then speak only if you are asked to give your opinion. Do not butt in with asking like, if I were you, you are not. Zip it up. Period. Oh, but no, you don't know. Stay out. I know you are an expert at that field. If I ask your opinion, you may come in. Oh, no, I feel so hurt. Nobody values me here. Nobody asked you to jump in there. Speak in such a way that the other person feels welcome, feel the warmth of your concern and love. Speech level tapas. Now thought level tapas. The various kinds. Some to mention. To not get influenced by negative thoughts. There may be enough thoughts, but to not get influenced by them and not to spit it out either. That is what Nilakantha means. That he has the poison, he has not swallowed it in, which would disturb him, and he has not neither spit it out, which would disturb others. So he has kept it in that balance, filtered it well, that it neither disturbs him nor others. That is how the negativity has to be treated. To be so conscious that even before the thought is erupting, any negative pattern, you are so conscious that you are uprooting it at the level of its origin. So consciously living every moment of life that there are no regrets in life. When you are living so consciously and responsibly that there is no scope for regret. Various tapascharya's that have been said. What are these tapasyas meant for? Tat padamamananti. To reach to that purpose of life. Yadichantaha. Desiring which millions of them spend their entire life in absolute celibacy. Yadichantaha. Brahmacharyam charanti. sometimes one has to be careful as to how the mantras are being interpreted. There was one Panditji who was interpreting this. He's saying, if you desire, then you can follow the strict path of celibacy. Otherwise, it is not required. Where is that otherwise not required part? It is not mentioned. It's like, free interpretation. Desiring that purpose of life, they are ready to dedicate their entire life in that discipline of celibacy. Brahmacharyam charanti. Tat te padam. That supreme goal or purpose. Sangrahena bravimi. I'll tell it to you in a brief, simple note for you to understand. For our understanding, for our communication, we represent it with the syllable Om. Om ityetat. Om is that syllable which represents that supreme. Now, what is this Om? This Om has got various meanings, various depths of understanding. Understanding that this Om, the syllable, represents Paramatma, and you have to make the practice of remembering that Paramatma always. Therefore, everybody in the past, in the Vedic literature time, they would constantly communicate and use this word, this syllable Om, for everything. If, like I have to catch somebody's attention, and it is me, so I don't remember the name. Okay. So, what do we do? Usually when you don't know the name and they are in Chinmay mission, Hari Om. So you catch their attention by saying Hari Om, right? And supposing you are not in Chinmay mission and still you have to communicate and you don't know the person's name. Hello? Excuse me? Various methods, right? In those days, they would utter the word Om. Om meaning there is somebody seeking your attention. If I have to ask one of you the question and one of you I am expecting you to answer, and I look at you and say Om, meaning you say it. And if you are saying it wrong, and I change the tone of that Om, meaning keep quiet. Right? If there are Balvihar kids in the session and they're making a lot of noise, and one of the meanings of Hari Om is shut up. And the teacher is saying Hari Om, which means no, it doesn't mean that get a lot enthusiastic and keep shouting more. It means keep quiet, keep calm, chant Om. And if there is, there is a puja happening or havan happening, and the main priest looks at the Yajaman and says, you do the offering now, and you don't pay attention. I said, Om, meaning pay attention. So Om was used as a very common syllable. But what is the depth and meaning of this word, of the syllable Om? I would say that it is the primordial sound of this creation. The syllable Om is the primordial sound of this very creation. And this is one thing probably that many other religious scriptures also talk about. Like in the Genesis, they talk about the world came from the Word, and the Word was with the Lord. The Word came from the Word, and if you look at their Amen, that's how they say it. or the Muslims say Amin, and Hindus say Om. The root words in all these three appear to be similar. Right? So Om Ityetat. Om is the primordial sound from which this entire creation has expressed. Now, taking that concept further, they say that Om has three parts to it. It's a combination of three letters. What are the three letters? A, U, and Ma. Akara, Ukara, and Makara. If you have learnt a little bit of Sanskritam, which I'm looking at all of you, you have learnt. You cannot say, I don't know, Sanskritam I never tried. You don't have the choice now. In the vowels, there is A and U. A plus U becomes O. How does A plus U become O? Now you have to go to phonetics to understand the entire logic behind it. That will be a different class altogether. It will be Sanskrit class and not a Upanishad class. A plus U becomes O. And add Makara to it, it becomes Om. Now today we see that, that symbol Om. It is written in Devanagari. The same Om symbol is written in various other languages. Have you seen it in Punjabi? When they say Ik Omkar, have you seen how they write Om there? No. Go check it out. Have you seen it in Malayalam? Have you seen it in Tamil? Thank you. One person who has seen it in other language. As a fellow Indian, I understand whether he said it or yes or no. He may have nodded it this way, but I understand depending on the situation as to what precise answer it was. In the older script, because Sanskritam today is in Devanagari, but Devanagari is a newer script. There was an older script before that. That older script is called Brahmi or Sharada Lipi. Sharada script or the Brahmi script. In that, the Om symbol had a totally different form or a different sign. But whatever it be, it represents that Om, and Om represents Paramatma. Now in this A, U and Ma, Akara, Ukara and Makara, the Akara represents the waking world, Ukara represents the dream world, and Makara represents the deep sleep. Now when you utter Om, you breathe in and chant Om. Om. When you look at the origin of Om and the end of Om, where does this Om rise from and fall back into? Like if you see it as a wave, the Om starts from the platform of silence and then merges into that silence. Right? From the inner silence, the sound starts and merges back into, like the wave starts from the ocean and merges back into the ocean. Similarly, that silence is called one's own true nature, or the fourth. The first three are the waking, dream and deep sleep. The fourth stage, actually it does not have a name. Therefore, they have started recognizing it as Chaturtha Chaturtha, the fourth platform. Not that there is a number to it, but they call it as Chaturtha. So that is the Om. I'm just giving you a brief introduction because here our own Yama Dharmaraja, he takes in detail as to what this Om means. So taking in his own words, what does this Om mean? So he says in this 16th mantra, repeat after me. ये तद्धेवाक्षरं ब्रह्मा ये तत् हि एव अक्षरं ब्रह्मा ये तद्धेवाक्षरं ब्रह्मा देवाक्षरं ब्रह्मा ये तदेवाक्षरं परम्. गुड. ये तदेवाक्षरं ज्ञात्वा यो यदिच्छसि तत्यतत् यो यदिच्छति तस्य तत्. Repeat after me again. यो यदिच्छति तस्य तत्. There is a spot wherein the tongue refuses to move because of the tiredness, I believe. Yo yadichhati tasya tat. What is this Om? Etad aksharam. Wherever they are talking about aksharam, they are talking about this Om. See, the alphabets in Sanskritam, what are they called? Right. Aksharamala. Good clap, good clap. Aksharamala. Why are these alphabets called as Akshara? There's a beautiful logic behind. Kshara means that which can be broken into different parts. Right? If there is a watch or a phone or anything, like this is a pen. Now this pen can be broken into various pieces. And I can take the nib out, then there is a refill, then there is the cover of the pen, and then there's a cap, different parts. You can break it into different parts. That which can be broken is called Kshara. That which cannot be broken further into smaller pieces is called Akshara. So all these syllables in the Sanskrit language, they are the building blocks which cannot be further mutilated into smaller pieces. But the rest of the words can be created through these pieces. Similarly, the entire creation is through these words, through these syllables of A, U and Ma together. It is called Om. And what is this Om? The Om is Etad eva aksharam Brahma. This is that supreme Brahman. What does this Om represent? Supreme Brahman. So in Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's life and story, he puts it very beautifully. He says that our scriptures are vast. The Vedas in themselves are very vast. The essence of Vedas is Bhagavad Gita. The essence of Bhagavad Gita crystallized is Gayatri Mantra. The essence of Gayatri Mantra is Om. Om is that powerful, potent a mantra. Even if you mentally keep repeating, if you forget all other mantras and just keep chanting Om, Om. Like, when you're getting angry and you're getting irritated, frustrated, you want to throw the cap down. Right? And then you talk to yourself, keep cool, keep quiet, calm, calm. Instead, you can say Om. At every aspect of your life, you can introduce this Om, because this Om is that powerful a mantra that it is the direct expression of that Parabrahma Paramatma. Whenever Hindus get together to build a temple, it starts with such a unified effort, a very genuine effort to get a temple in that neighborhood, in that locality. So after the initial efforts are done, everybody forms a committee. What is committee? Gurudev used to define it very beautifully, wherein you waste hours to maintain minutes. That is called committee meetings. So these committee meetings, the first big confusion that occurs is, should the temple be constructed in South Indian fashion or North Indian fashion? Should the deities be installed in black granite as a South Indian temple, or the marble like in the North Indian temple? Does it really matter? Oh, no, I'm very particular about my traditions. Once in Kerala, there was such confusion that occurred, and there had a lot of animosity within the committee. And they approached this master. His name was Narayana Guru. And he is a reformist as well. So they approached him and said, should we have there were three choices, I believe, at that time. The three choices were to have a marble deity, or a black granite stone, or the alloy of 5 different metals. Which one do we bring in the main deity in? Which material? So he closed his eyes and he was amused at this thought. And then he had a very special smile, mischievous smile on his face. He said, I'll fix this today. So he told his Sishya some instruction, another Sishya one more instruction. And then he said, let me go to the temple. Well, I'll resolve this today itself. So by the time he reached the temple, these both Sishya also had arrived. And even today that temple is there. It is called Pranava Mandir. So what did he install there? No form, no name, no deity, no marble, no granite, or no panchaloha. But instead, what was the murti? It was Om. And he did something very unique. Behind that Om, in place of the deity, he installed a mirror. Total revolutionary reformist. He did the prana pratishtha of a mirror. Everybody was confused. Hey, mirror? What deity is that? I come here and do makeup or what? What kind of a deity is that? He said, in the mirror, though you see the reflection, but what you are actually perceiving is your own self. Similarly, I have put this Om in front of it because that is your true nature that you have to see reflected within your own heart. because the entire expression of that Paramatma is in the form of Om. Etat eva aksharam Brahma. Therefore, etad eva aksharam param. This is the very representation of that supreme. Etad eva aksharam jnatva yo yadichhati tasya tat. Having understood, having complete knowledge and experience of this particular word, one gains fulfillment of all desires. Because everybody is having goals and ambitions, right? We have various of them. Why do we set all these? So that I can fulfill my desire. Now, why this desire has to be fulfilled? So that I can be happy. I feel some contentment here. Practice this Omkara Upasana. Understand the true meaning of this Omkara. All your desires, ambitions will be fulfilled. Now, there is a trick here, okay? Whatever the trick is, I'm going to spill it out. Who carries the desire? Whose desire is it? There's no trick in that question. It's a simple question. So who is it that is claiming it as our desire, my desire? Who is that claiming it? What did you say? That little self that I am claiming this desire, to own that desire, is called E-G-O. Ego. Right? When this ahankara merges itself, completely dilutes itself in the practice of Omkara, the one who is desiring is non-existent. What will happen to the desires? They are completely wiped out, vanished. If there is a problem, then you can apply the solution. The problem itself has vanished. See, somebody says, I have a headache, get me this tiger balm. That's a very painful trick that people play. It's called tiger balm. When you have headache and you rub that in, it starts burning. It is so intense that you forget your headache. Therefore, you say, yes, now I have relief. What actually is happening is, like Tenali Rama said to, or Birbal said to Akbar, he said, there was a line on the wall. And the task was, without touching it, without rubbing it, without messing with it, how can you shorten it? So what Birbal did was, he drew a bigger line. Said, in comparison to this, that is short. Right? Similarly, in comparison to the burning pain that the tiger balm creates, the headache is forgotten. Right? When we talk about the desires being fulfilled, if there is the desirer who owns these desires, then the desires have validity of existence. When the desirer himself is being diluted, the desires become null and void. So when he says all your desires will be fulfilled, it means that that who is desiring is eliminated. Yo yadichhati tasya tat. This is one meaning. The second meaning, which may interest many of you. So pay attention. What is the second meaning? Since Omkara Upasana is the waking world, the dream world, and the deep sleep world, right? A, U, and Ma. What aspect of that Omkara that you emphasize on and focus on, you get the results of acquiring mastery over that particular realm, that particular field. Therefore, when I introduce Om chanting even before the class starts, you may have observed that I take a deep breath and then chant a long Om. Om. And by doing so, what happens? The mind is brought to a focal point so that it can focus on not the waking world, not the dream world, not the deep sleep, but that which supports all these three. If at all I have to, if I have a choice, then why do I have to buy some things very small when I can own the shopkeeper himself? Right? Why do I have to settle for anything less? So why should I focus on waking world or a dream world? Or if you want to experiment with it, you can. But if I can directly get to the substratum on which all these three things are existing, what is more valuable? Isn't that more valuable? So by chanting it the way we have been taught, and it brings that mind to that focal point to focus on that Parabrahma, Paramatma. And thereby all the other desires get fulfilled naturally. I tell you, once you dedicate your life, you submit yourself, surrender, things start happening seamlessly as if they were arranged for you to happen. All that you have to do is sit back and relax to see it unfold. But we need to have patience for it. If we are like a monkey who is watering the plant but not knowing if the roots are getting wet or not, therefore digs it open, pulls out the root, checks it every time the water is poured, what will happen to the plant? It will die sooner than later, right? So we also are like that, very impatient. So once you start this alambana, once you start this upasana, those desires will naturally be fulfilled. Or the other meaning which I said, your mind is elevated to such a high that these things seem insignificant, that you don't bother about them any further. Both meanings are applicable. We'll see further meaning of this Upanishad next week. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.